Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo. Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
I think when it comes to the woman, if a man takes charge and he shows that he's logical,
same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF.
Likelihood, do you think, of this following the similar path that we saw in Northern Ireland?
Well, first of all, my problem with Tony Blair putting aside his record as a war criminal with this analogy to Ireland is, in the case of Ireland, you don't have a dispute about the recognition of people's right to self-determination. That sort of underpins the conflict. There's an awareness there that in Ireland that the people of Northern Ireland are a people who have certain rights. In the case of Palestine, as we're discussing here, what I'm hearing from Mark and Shabbos is a complete lack of awareness. The Palestinians are living under a brutal military occupation. Either you recognize that or you don't. If you don't recognize that, you're going to have continued disaster for the entire region and continued misery, foremost for the Palestinian people. If you recognize, as most of the world does, pretty much the entire world, with the exception of the US and Israel, the Palestinians have been living under one of the most brutal, longest military occupations in the world and have been denied their basic rights. If you don't recognize that, you're not going to solve the problem. And Trump's so-called peace plan does nothing to address that. When it comes to the issue of Palestinian self-determination and Palestinian statehood, there's one line. It says, we recognize Palestinian self-determination and statehood as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. If you recognize something as an aspiration, but not as a right, you have no obligation to grant it. And the message from Israel, if you listen to Netanyahu, is that there will be no recognition. And he has the full backing of the US in that. And that's not just a Trump thing. This has been bipartisan US policy for decades to reject the one thing that could solve all this is grant Palestinians their minimal right to freedom. And so in that context, people want to make this about Hamas and how they have no right to be there. This isn't about Hamas. Even if Palestinians are the most pragmatic, docile people in the world, Israel would still insist, as they always have, on their self-declared right to steal their land because it's a Jewish supremacist state. Until that's resolved, you're going to have perpetual conflict. And just one correction on the issue of whether there could have been a deal. After October 7th, Hamas offered Israel to release all the civilian captives in exchange for Israel not attacking Gaza. Israel had no interest in that because October 7th gave them the opportunity to take care of the Gaza problem, as Norman Finkelstein has talked about on your show before. Destroying Gaza, expelling as many people as possible. That's why Israel abandoned its own captives. And that's why, and Anna was correct to say, there was a deal on the table well over a year ago. Israeli negotiator Gershon Baskin, it was years of contacts with Hamas. He's confirmed this. Hamas accepted the exact same deal that was just accepted now.
But the truth, I mean, you talk about a brutal occupation, and I don't disagree, but there's also been a brutal occupation of the Palestinian people by Hamas themselves. They were given governance in 2006, they won the election, but for the next 20 years, rather than try and bring any kind of change or prosperity to its people, it built one of the biggest underground tunnel networks in the world has ever seen, frankly, in modern times, and planned an outrageous terror attack on a horrific scale, with 3,000 of them pouring over the border and indiscriminately murdering and kidnapping anyone they can get their hands on. Now, that you know, if you look at the way they're treating Palestinian people throughout the last 20 years, if you look at the way they have sacrificed Palestinian lives so brazenly and callously as they themselves ran to hide in their tunnels, leaving civilians to be murdered and to be killed, then, you know, you could argue the brutal occupation has worked with both. You could say, yeah, the Israelis have had a brutal form of occupation over the Palestinians, but so has Hamas.
I see things differently, Piers. Hamas won the elections, you're correct. What happened immediately? Israel put Gaza under a complete siege, to the point where Israel was counting the calories inside Gaza that it would let every Palestinian in Gaza consume without having a full-blown starvation crisis. The idea was basically to punish the Palestinian people for voting the wrong way, for electing Hamas. And why did they elect Hamas? Is because the alternative was the Palestinian Authority, which is corrupt and had become a collaborator with Israel in the farce of the so-called peace process, which was simply just an excuse for Israel to steal more Palestinian land. So in that context, Palestinians elected Hamas. Israel responded by putting Gaza under a complete siege, where Gaza had absolutely no hope to rebuild. Israel was in control of everything that came in and out, even banning things like chocolate. Hamas tried to actually moderate its position. And people laugh at this, but you can look at the record. It's true. And someone like Gershon Baskin, who's an Israeli negotiator, can confirm all this. Hamas leaders started talking about accepting a long-term truce with Israel. Then they started even saying we'd accept a Palestinian state.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Mia.
I'm Kim.
And we have a new addition to the new party team, Kimberly. Kim, let everybody know where they can find you and how you feel about joining the team.
I'm mostly on Instagram. I love the discussion. I have discussions with people every day without necessarily arguing. So I really like your guys' point of view too. So I appreciate you guys for inviting me on.
Thank you, Kim. And actually, I'm going to let you speak first tonight. What do you think about the clip we just saw? And I just want to start by, I was excited about the peace deal. And then I was like, why isn't the left happy? Why isn't the pro-Gaza people happy? And then today, breaking news, Israel has officially broke the peace deal, where they opened fire on suspects in northern Gaza who allegedly crossed the boundary established as part of the ceasefire pullback. Gaza health authorities have reported 6 Palestinians killed in 2 separate incidents. So what peace deal? Will there be everlasting peace between Israel and Gaza, Kim?
I love that you opened with Aaron Mate. I saw that whole interview, and every time Aaron Mate is on Pierce, I'll watch it. He explains it very eloquently, and I think it's in that same part right there that you were playing, where after he explains how even under the Bill Clinton administration, Israeli officials even after came back and said that at that time, the Palestinians were right to even reject that deal during the Bill Clinton administration. And it's how he explained it at the very beginning. Israel won't give Palestine the right to self-determination because they don't want Palestine to have that. What they want is to take over the land. They also want parts of greater Israel, which includes Lebanon and parts of Syria and Jordan as well, I believe. That's their goal. That's why they're over here trying to sell parts of Gaza like real estate. And I saw a lot of happiness, especially with the release of the hostages on both sides. It's very heartwarming, reminds me of our humanity when I see things like that. But it was expected, at least, that Israel wouldn't abide by phase 2 of the peace deal, because that's what they've always done.
Feels like Groundhog Day, but I have this other clip that I want Mia to respond to. This was a video that AIPAC has released. This is their America First version of what AIPAC is.
But AIPAC.
Today, AIPAC.
On Capitol Hill, AIPAC.
AIPAC. You may have heard our name, but how much do you really know about AIPAC? AIPAC is an American organization that works to strengthen the U.S.-Israel relationship. This partnership advances America's interests and democratic values and helps keep Israel safe. Our 5 million members are U.S. citizens, Democrats and Republicans from every part of the country who urge our elected leaders to enact pro-Israel policies. This includes expanding America's defense partnership with Israel, supporting life-saving security assistance, confronting Iran and its terror proxies, and promoting peace and normalization. Being pro-Israel is good policy, and AIPAC members make sure it's good politics, too. We raise money to help elect pro-Israel candidates for Congress.
Kamal, look at your face.
And we take the political fight to our opponents, helping defeat anti-Israel candidates running for the House or Senate. AIPAC is leading the fight in Washington to secure the future of the U.S.-Israel relationship. The actions of pro-Israel Americans today will help determine the future of this bond and the fate of both countries.
And no, before you guys ask in the chat, we were not given $7,000. But hey, we can take that money, honey. I played the video in full. We about to be fair. I gave y'all 5 minutes with y'all propaganda. Mia, what do you think about the video? Is it pro-Israel first, America first? This was the video in their response to how they could be more America first. This was their propaganda. I mean, video that they put out regarding it.
First and foremost, I am not being paid by any side. I am still broke like I was yesterday and today. Nothing has changed. I am not collecting any cheddar from any of these people. My opinion is my own. And to be honest, I think that commercial of sorts is the best thing they could have done, because now it literally gives credence to the foreign registry. Like, these people keep trying to convince us that they don't need to register as a foreign agent through the Registration Act. But that right there tells me you are legitimately working on behalf of a foreign country, that you've admitted to working on behalf of a foreign country to strengthen ties between a foreign country and the United States. That legitimately is the perfect example, the perfect propaganda for these people to have to register as foreign agents under the Registration Act from 1938. I mean, legit, they admit to working for foreign agents to try to strengthen ties between a foreign government to us. So why have we not forced these people to register?
And
That's my
just so
question.
everyone knows, she's referring to Farah. You might have heard it as Farah. That's the, I guess, short term. This next clip was President Trump. Yo, President Trump be throwing low-key shade. I'm going to have Gray respond to this.
Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country. She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say. We love you. Thank you, darling, for being here. That's a great honor. Great honor. She's a wonderful woman.
So great. Can you be one country first and America first at the same time? This is not even an attack on the Israel first people, but can you be both countries? Like, what do you think?
I'm on the left, so I know that's really a right wing saying, but I would say just the vernacular. I don't think you can. I think there's only one thing it'd be first. But as far as that clip you played, Miriam Adelson, if people don't know, she is one of the people that gave the most money to Trump's campaign when he was running. So, I mean, of course, when she gave him that money, she most likely was doing it because she wanted Israel to get some type of benefits from that. I don't know if Trump is trying to like call her out and say, you know, that they keep asking me for stuff. I don't know if you go play that clip about her husband kept asking him for stuff.
No, we gonna move on from this. We're not gonna live on this too long tonight because at this point it's no peace. We're gonna keep seeing more children get unalived. What a fucking disappointment. Anyways, excuse my French. It's just a real big disappointment. All right, come on. This one's for you. This was some Black Hebrew Israelites debating a panel of Jewish rabbis and commentators. And I'm going to have you respond to this. This is where they're talking about the slave ships.
Jewish people had a hand in slavery too.
So did black people.
My God. Africans did.
Africans did.
Africans.
That is
Right.
true.
I
It's like
agree.
the most
Listen, no
ridiculous
white man went
conversation
into
I've
a
ever been a part
village.
of.
Africans brought them to the white man. I don't argue that. Like, I'm an honest historian. I ain't got to lie about it.
He's an
So
honest
Africans
historian
sold-
you're talking
Africans
to.
But it
sold-
wasn't. I'm saying unfortunately there were Jews involved, but it wasn't a
Jewish.
thing.
Yeah. You insurance companies, the ships. You know why insurance companies started? Because slaves was cargo, and they wanted to get paid if any of them slaves died on the way.
Why would you want to pay for one of them if you
So
don't
you got
receive it?
banks,
You pay for an
insurance
Amazon
companies.
package if you
In
don't
North
get it at your
Carolina,
door?
one of the first Jewish slave masters was in North Carolina. Y'all was there too. That's why, you know what tripped me out? When white people want to be separate from Jewish people, y'all the same white man. The same. Y'all just the creme de la creme
This
of
is
that white
the
man.
most ridiculous. First of all, I'm
I'm
not saying you
freeing your
are
mind.
racist, but man, the way you talk is
I do appreciate that
crazy.
you look up to us. Like I appreciate.
No, I'm not looking
I
up to
appreciate
y'all
the
at
creme de
all.
la creme.
No,
That's
it's
kinda nice.
No, y'all the creme de la creme of your white tribes. That's what I'm
First
saying.
of all,
not me.
What people do now, for example, in Israel, is they're equating Israelis to the way that people want to put down white people in America,
Saboom.
and they're saying that the Israelis and the Palestinians are like the poor brown people being oppressed.
Right.
If you went to Israel, you notice that most people who live in Israel migrated, right? There are people who are indigenous that we could trace back for thousands of years, and there are people who moved from Iran, Saudi Arabia. To say that Israelis are just the white strongman
Israelis like him, you're
is
saying?
just a pure lack
I'm not
of
Israeli.
You're Israeli.
knowledge.
Yeah.
But you don't use that term
Not
with you?
Israeli. Israeli is not.
It just seems
Okay.
like a lot of angst and dislike toward other people coming from you, as opposed to if you're saying that you are representing God, wouldn't that be more about inclusivity? Not we're
telling the truth is.
no.
I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
Everywhere in the Torah, when it talks about whenever God talks about people, there's a beautiful love between people. The utopian world, the messianic era. In the messianic era, if you want to know the messianic prophecies, for example, look at Ezekiel chapter 37, the Valley of the Dry Bones.
Right.
Right. You'll see the messianic
I agree with
prophecies.
that.
But what are the things that you'll see? You'll see universal peace on earth. You'll see universal knowledge of God. We're talking
Not
about
without war first, though.
Yeah. Well, that's how it comes about is a debate.
It's war first.
Is a debate. But there are different opinions. One opinion is it's you against your own ego and overcoming your ego, because most bad things come from the ego. There are different interpretations of things. But when you look at things in terms of the Messianic era and things like this, it's all about peace, love, where Jewish people of all faiths, atheists, Muslims, Christians, we're all going to get along. It's going to be beautiful.
There's something called the uncomfortable truth, right? And so I know why when I'm saying the things that I'm saying and you say it comes across as racist.
Well, hold on. I want to move to the next topic.
Okay.
So Kamal, without being too controversial, what are your thoughts on the Black Hebrew Israelites and this debate that you just witnessed?
First of all, I wish Timu Carrot Top would shut the fuck up in the middle. God damn, he was trolling. He was making it hard to kind of, because it was a Black Hebrew Israelite and the other dude. They was having a conversation, and bruh kept trolling in. So it was kind of making it hard to kind of pay attention to it, though. But at the end of the day, basically what the black brother was saying was that, hey, you Jewish motherfuckers was part of the slave trade too. And I'll be tired of this shit where people be like, oh, Jewish supremacy. And it's white Jews, bro. Okay? And y'all's part of the slave trade. Like, that was basically the premise of what bro was saying. He was like, the Africans brought, basically, it was prisoners of war, brought them over to y'all. And y'all were a part of the slave trade alongside with the other white supremacists, man. That's it. That's all I heard. And bro was on some old, oh, kumbaya, blah, blah, blah. We're all one. We're Captain Planet ass shit. What's up with all this babble, bro? Like, no, bro, like, own up to it, bro. Y'all, you know what I mean? The white Jews were part of the slave trade too. Like, that's all they saying.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that's a little known history fact. We'll get into that another day. But we're going to switch gears here to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Will she be able to unite the left and the right? I'm going to let Kimberly get in first on this one. This is her discussing what she feels about immigration, because she said something very shocking this week that got a lot of people's feathers ruffled.
Conservative, and as a business owner in the construction industry, and as a realist, I can say we have to do something about labor, and that needs to be a smarter plan than just rounding up every single person and deporting them just like that.
Right.
So, and I'm going to get pushback on that, but it's
Yeah.
I'm just living in reality from here on out.
Yeah.
And if anybody's mad at me for saying the truth, then I'm sorry.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, ladies and gentlemen, our next president. Sorry, JD Vance. Well, I mean, there's people are saying it. I go to dinner parties.
Yeah, I heard you.
Well, by the way,
I heard you on Joe Rogan.
Kimberly, is she the next president? What do you think about what she said?
That's actually not the first time she's said that. I think she's been pretty consistent on the immigration stance. There's a lot of overlap between the populist right and the populist left. For the same reason, I used to argue for Matt Gaetz as AG as opposed to Pam Bondi, even though he's not a good person. The populist right is consistent on a few set of principles, and Marjorie Taylor Greene has always been a little bit more, as she describes, realist when it comes to the immigration issue, because right now the right is losing that immigration argument. Even though the majority of Americans, I believe, are in favor of some form of enforcement of immigration and deportations, the way that they're doing it is really turning people off. Even though there are like very few fringe examples of how ICE has taken some instances very, very far, I think that in order for the right to win some type of argument for immigration would be more in the direction of Marjorie Taylor Greene. And by the way, I love Tim Dillon. I watched this interview. It was a really good interview. I suggest you guys all should watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, I mean, what I realize is a lot of people in this country don't understand the Constitution. That's the nicest way I can put it. But anyways, nevertheless, let me play this clip. This is for Enzo. This is regarding Republicans. This is what she's had to say about them.
Washington all week, and I've been at my office. I've been in the Capitol. There's two things I couldn't find this week. I couldn't find anywhere the Epstein files, and I also couldn't find the Republican plan to fix the absolutely destroyed health insurance industry that got wiped out in 2015 with Obamacare.
Yeah.
Like, those are the two things I can't find. And when Republicans, and I'm criticizing also Congress big time. I'm really grateful to a lot of the things the president is doing, but I'm really upset with the direction Congress is going. But when we are not doing anything to address the cost of living, we aren't doing anything about Blackstone buying up houses where most young people can't find a house and they're having to compete in bidding wars.
Right.
And we're not doing anything about health insurance premiums. Then for the love of God, what are we doing?
Right.
Hi, Enzo. Welcome. Thank you for coming. She had a last spoke for Republicans, but is any ownership on her? Because she's part of Congress. She's part of our legislators. What do you think?
Yeah, that has to do with her too. I want to know who she pissed off to, who she's not getting money from, because she's talking out against a lot of people now. Who are you trying to impress? Like, what's really going on behind the scenes? Because we know there's an infighting between the Republican Party of who's going to take the torch in 28. Maybe this is just her way of trying to appeal to liberals. I mean, no one's really going to side with MTG to begin with. She's a nutcase. Everybody knows this. Let's break it down and show really who she is. This is, in my eyes, just all smoke and mirrors. I mean, she's saying all this, but you've been in Congress for how long? How many bills have you authored to address Blackstone and to address the ACA? What have you done? Why are you blaming everybody else? You're in Congress as well, so I think it's just pointless for her to talk like the way she is.
Damn. Well, this is her swinging. I'm going to get Mia to comment on this next video. This is her calling out saying prices aren't going down. Shots fired at Trump.
Costs have not come down. I myself can tell you my apartment here in Washington, D.C., the electricity bill is $100 more than it was last year, because you can look at your own bill and look at cost. Prices have not come down. That is a reality. People's wages have not gone up. That's another reality. And so Americans are continuing to have a very difficult time.
Mia, you always talk about how poor you are and how much everything costs. What do you think about this? I mean, this is a reflection, I'm sorry to say it, of Trump. Trump said things will go down. I will say gas has gone down, but honey, nothing else has gone down. I mean, what do you think?
I mean, you know, she may wear that tinfoil hat, but she ain't told a lie yet, because I mean, and every place is more expensive. There's not a single state in the United States where anything is cheaper. Nothing is cheaper. I mean, gas for me is still the same. It may be 10 cents cheaper, but my electricity bill went up 17%. My groceries from last year to this year, at least 17 to 20%. Everything has categorically gone up. Every single thing that we were promised, better job reports. The job reports suck. We're in the deficit now, baby. We're like 3,000 in the negative. And the inflation that was only supposed to be 0.4% is now 0.7 plus. And so now the feds more than likely are going to re-raise the rates back up to try to tie the inflation. So, I mean, we were promised a lot of things, and only some of them have been delivered. Obviously, I am thankful for what has been delivered. I have somewhat agreed with, but at the same time, I mean, he told us he was going to eliminate income tax when he added these tariffs. Now I pay a tariff tax, which is basically a consumption tax without having to pass Congress, and I'm still paying my federal income taxes. Because if you think tariffs, you only pay tariffs when you consume. So essentially, that is a backdoor consumption tax on the American people at this point in time. So we are paying a consumption tax without actually paying a consumption tax, while still paying the income taxes they told us we weren't going to have to pay. So, I mean, she's not wrong. She ain't told a lie yet.
True. I want the income tax to go away. But all right, guys, we're going to switch gears and we're going to move on to our Stevens of the night. Kamal, and I think Gray's going to love this topic. Well, Kamal will. I don't know about Gray. Stephen A. Smith calls out Jasmine Crockett, and then we'll get into the sports factor of it for the fellas. But first, I got to play the clip. Yo, Stephen A. Smith has been swinging on the Democrats. Let's see what he had to say about poor Jasmine.
They can make anybody look if you say the wrong things, particularly when you're an elected official. If you're coming across as belligerent, undisciplined, and a loose cannon, how do you then get to say what Trump is? Or the people under him when they're acting belligerent?
Gray, what do you think about the smoke he has for your girl, Jasmine?
If the person that's belligerent can't call it the belligerent people, who's supposed to call them out? I mean, she's just the black version of being belligerent. I mean, like, they all do it. They all act wild. Do I think Jasmine Crockett doesn't act professional at times? Of course not. But we've all seen the video, or they always share the video where her real voice is her talking proper. Private school. So, like, it's all an act. So, but yeah, I mean, she should call Trump out because she does the type of stuff Trump does.
Oof. Well, I'm gonna get Kamal in here on this one. He keeps going. He hammers it on in this next video.
Educated, brilliant black woman representing over 750,000 people is engaging in verbiage and rhetoric for the streets. And that's fine when you're in the streets. How many of y'all bring the streets to the table when you're at the negotiating table trying to get a deal done? How many of you are able to think that for a second that you're able to bring street verbiage to Capitol Hill and that's going to work for you? You literally have senators and congressional figures on Capitol Hill on the side of the Republicans telling the networks, whether it's Fox News, News Nation, or anybody else, please, please, please put her front and center on camera. Why would they do that? Because they know it wins for them.
Man, Kamal, he's giving the sauce with the politics and putting her out there is like an embarrassment. You know, she's basically, I don't know. Kamal, what do you think about her and what do you think about what he said? I'm gonna just let you talk on that.
First of all, y'all in the chat going crazy, man. Y'all funny as hell talking about Stephen A. Smith hairline in another zip code. That's crazy. But my thing is this though. I really don't give a flying F about Jasmine Crockett antics. I don't care about what she's saying. She's fighting for illegal immigrants. All that sassy shit she doing, all she's fighting for is illegal immigrants. I want her to be sassy as fuck for Black Americans. Do all that sass for us, Black Americans, and policies for us. That's all I ask for. I don't care about the antics and none of that shit, because Donald Trump be clowning motherfuckers. He be putting people on blast. But we know what he does. He fight for his fucking base and passes policies for his base. That's all I ask for the Democrats. Y'all could do all the Hakeem Jeffries, soft-ass debate, kinda. I'll put the Dukes up. Jasmine Crockett, I'm all in your motherfucking face. Yeah, cool. Do all that shit, but do it for policies for Black Americans. That's all I care about. At this point, politics, who said that shit? Was it Ken Billions or whatever? Politics is WWE. He right.
Yeah, Ken Billions.
Yeah, it's WWE. Just, I want y'all to fight for policies for us, your own lineage. Don't use our struggle like, yeah, my ancestors went through all types of shit for this country. That's why illegal immigrants need to get all our resources. Jasmine Crockett, what the? From her, Maxine Waters, all them, no. I don't care about the antics no more. Because on the Republican side to the Democratic side, the antics is all WWE, social media, TikTok type of ish. No, what policies are they fighting for at this point? You feel me? And yeah, man, that's all I really got to say. Y'all in the chat going crazy, though. Y'all talk about Stephen A. Smith. That's kind of hilarious what y'all saying about it.
Well, guys, it gets worse. He was definitely trending this week. here he was getting interviewed by Serena Williams' husband. Let's see what happened, and then got some other clips with it.
Also, too, Stephen A. Smith, I think you had some marriage advice for me. Is that right? Or
Well, you know what? Listen, I did it. People, headlines are headlines. We can get into that another time. But I
was hoping you were going to be here.
I am not qualified. Married?
Right.
Oh no, not me.
Well,
I ain't qualified, my brother. I'm not qualified.
I was going to ask because you hadn't been married before, right?
I am married.
No, Stephen. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I give advice to plenty of founders who want to build billion-dollar companies, and the reason I do that is because I build billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
So I generally try to stay in my lane as an advice department.
Then we'll talk marriage advice later. I'm
All
going
right.
13 years strong. We got
Deal.
you. Alexis, thank you so much. Athlos NYC 2-night event.
So just so everyone knows, that is Serena Williams' husband. Kimberly, what do you think about the stuttering and the deflection? He just basically gave it to him straight. He's like, I'm a billionaire. We talk about billionaire things. Do you think that was shade, or do you think he's like, come on, I'm here. You can say it to my face?
I wish I knew more about Serena Williams' husband.
So basically,
Go ahead.
He's married to a tech he's a tech billionaire.
Okay.
She's Serena Williams, for everyone that may or may not know, is a tennis superstar champion. And so they're married. And what did Stephen A. Smith say, Gray? Do you know what he said about him?
She crip walked at the Super Bowl with Kendrick performance.
That's right.
So Stephen A. Smith basically came out and said that she ghetto trash and how dare her husband let her go out there and look like that. So he basically said that her husband wanted a man for letting her go out there in the Super Bowl and crip walk. And confronted him. So he was confronting him about that.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I'm from LA. I think everybody should learn how to crip walk first. I actually liked her performance on there. That's funny. Yeah,
me too.
Stephen
and the fact that she's Drake's ex-girlfriend, that was the funniness of it.
Yeah, I love the Kendrick halftime. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Stephen A. Smith. I think he's intentionally divisive. I can't believe anybody watches the show really, but I can see why he would get that type of attention from talking like this to people, trying to start things. Like, I think he's just probably clout chasing or looking for views, even though I really can't comment on Serena Williams' husband. Good for her for marrying a billionaire. I would if I could.
Damn. Well, it gets worse from there. This is his reaction to getting confronted. And then I have one more clip with Steven Jackson, which is hilarious. Hear him stuttering in his reaction.
That it didn't escalate or anything like that. He is her husband. He loves her dearly. They have 2 wonderful children together. And I have absolutely no issue with him whatsoever wanting to address that situation with me because that's her husband. And I certainly meant no disrespect towards him at all. I was just saying that men, knowing us as men, if we're married and our wife is showing energy towards anybody else, even in a negative way, we're asking ourselves, if you're happy, why show that energy? That's it. But that's all it was. But I wasn't going to get into it on national television. I'm a professional. Now, if it had escalated and he wanted to get into it more, we'd kept the cameras rolling. I'd have said fine. But he was sitting there saying, you wasn't married, right? So, you give him marital advice. That's how he framed it. And he says, I give advice about building companies because that's what I do, essentially implying that I'm not married, so who am I to say something like that? I'm saying paraphrasing. I think that's a fair comment on his part. I don't have to agree with it, but I took no offense to it, and if I had been in studio and that was something that he wanted to broach, I would have reiterated what I said, maybe in a more respectable manner than my initial reaction after Super Bowl Sunday when I was just having fun. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that I respect him. That's her husband. That's his wife. And evidently, he didn't like what I said. I respect it, and I wish him and his wonderful wife, who I think is the GOAT, greatest female tennis player of all time.
So, Mia, as a married woman, do you think non-married people should be giving advice to married people?
I think if the advice is coming from an intentionally positive place, it's different. He was just trying to shade that relationship and be a douchebag. I'm sorry. Like, he was just trying to be a douche when he made that comment. And I mean, her husband had every right to clap back, and he is right. It's like, who are you to make a comment about this? And to be honest, I mean, it's giving jealousy. It's giving he can't act ratchet with somebody that has 9 zeros in their bank account and live their best life and crip walk in front of people and have a beautiful family and live a good life. It's just giving jealousy to me. He's just jealous that he still has to go to work every day, that he doesn't have a good support system, that he ain't got kids or anything like that. It's just giving jealousy to me.
Well, it gets worse for him. Steven Jackson, who is a phenomenal ex-basketball player, one of the best that ever did it, called him out. Let's see.
Stephen A, bro. You get loud and all in your feelings about Braun. When Braun, he talking to a black billionaire, but when you talking to a white billionaire, you humble. And you come back on your show talking real respectful, mild manner, man. Hey, bro, listen, bro. And you dogging the black women. Like, bro, let's stay out of politics and stick to talking about sports you never played.
Damn.
All right? Just stick to doing that, bro.
Not sports you
We
ever
not
played.
gonna vote for you if you talk. I heard you talking about running. You don't do that, bro. We not gonna vote for you. No, we're not. But check this out, bro. Stop, bro. Okay, you do not have the same energy for other people, but you got the lot of energy for Braun and black women and not everybody else. Well, stop it.
Damn, told him shut up and report.
Yeah, shut up.
God damn. Jesus Christ.
Check him. Do you agree? Should he just shut up and hold that mic and not comment?
Was that to me?
Yes.
Honestly, I think Stephen A should just pick the sports. I've seen his takes on like politics and everything like that. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Stephen A. Like, he's got some funny ass clips. He's pretty good. Just stick with what you know, bro. Just leave it alone. That's in the wise words of Stephen A. I am a very bad day.
Well, we're going to move to the next topic of the night. This is a topic that I picked for Kamal. Steven Crowder debates black fatigue. Woo! This was part
Oh,
one.
boy.
Steven, I'm going to need you to stick to the college kids.
What's up with all these Stevens, man? They fucking up. Stephen A. Smith,
Stephen
Steven
A.
Crowder. God damn.
Yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ.
this first clip is a friend of the show. I'm going to have great comment. This is Andre Williams' synopsis on Steven Crowder.
Oh my
This
God,
white man
not this
said this
guy.
in a black barbershop.
You have young white people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad?
And they have the guts. They're mad because this thing. Here's why. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down.
Yeah.
My city got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion. And I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to breed racism.
Steven Crowder is right. White guilt is dying and black fatigue is growing. Black people are the only people in America that fail to take any responsibility for our own actions. And everyone is tired of it, not just white
Don't he
people,
look like
other minorities as well. White people have given
Stop
everything
it.
to black
He
people.
does.
And black people love to spit right back in the face of white people. And they're getting fucking tired of it. This is how you can tell these men have been raised by nothing but single mothers. They take no responsibility and they're bitching.
Oh
and
my
moaning
God,
about
here we
everything.
go.
Nothing but excuses coming out of grown ass men. This is why I consider black Gen X to be the worst generation in the black.
Thank you. Shut this nigga up, please. God damn.
Hey man, he up his clothes game. He look kind of fly there, you know.
Yeah, but his hairline looking like Stephen A. Smith. The shit looking lost.
Gray, what do you think of his
LeBron hair.
summation of Steven Crowder barbershop debates?
I feel like with Andre, he's always gonna flip it to black people. He's always gonna say something disparaging about black people. What Steven Crowder was talking about was how white people feel about what black people are doing, and that's why I'm always tell people that white supremacy is going down, white victimhood is going up. So it's more so that what he's saying is white society is seeing a certain group of people that they feel like are doing something, getting away with something, and white people being affected by that. Like gentrification, oh, well, that means that white people can't live there, that type of argument. So I don't agree with what Steven Crowder is saying, but with Andre, he's always going to look at what the black community is doing rather than trying to look at what everybody else is doing.
Oof. Well, this is the video on white fatigue. I'm going to allow Kamal to go next.
Head up, and we tired of all these school shootings and all of these road rage and all that. Who do we say something to? Who hears our voice?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
Well, we've been hearing about white. That's the point, right? We've been hearing about it all our lives, about white fatigue, about systemic discrimination.
But nothing's ever been done. That's the problem.
It has been done. That's why we've done systemic justice reform that has led to more crime, right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love, was we're going to reform crime, we're going to reform the justice system, and it's gotten worse everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going, well, what happens when someone has to keep their mouth shut about everything?
Kamal, are you concerned about how whites are feeling about the black fatigue? And do you feel like you have white fatigue?
First of all, they're using the fucking black fatigue word wrong, like they're using woke. Black fatigue was written, it was a book written by, I'm about to get her name right, Mary Frances Winters. And black fatigue was how it sounds. We fatigue of y'all microaggressions and white supremacy bullshit. That what black fatigue was. So they're getting the word all wrong. And first of all, I'm always thinking like, when have y'all been silenced? Like, let's start with the bullshit. Steven Crowder, first of all, you Canadian, nigga. Go back to your Canadian bacon and fucking go hang out with Drake and shit. I'm tired of that shit. I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of these motherfuckers coming to America and they fucking shit up with the narrative of stuff. Get the fuck out of here. Go back to Canada. You said that Canada was a shithole. Which, by the way, shout out to Fatty. I was watching his channel. He said that Steven Crowder lied about that. And also earlier, I was on a Beans channel. Shout out to Beans. And we was talking about goddamn Steven Crowder. And this motherfucker, he just lied throughout the whole video. First of all, you know what he lied about? He said that basically black men, white men are 12 times likely to get killed by a black man. That's fucking a lie. God damn it, Canadian bacon. You're lying, bruh.
Is that the per capita lie? Because you know how they like to say, but per capita, it happens. Per capita.
Man, it ain't even a per capita. Homicide, because he's talking about killing. That's what he's saying. 79% of white victims are harmed by white offenders. 89% of black victims are harmed by black offenders. So you do the numbers. How the fuck can we be 12 times likely to harm white folks? They don't even make no fucking sense. This nigga lying out his ass. Take your ass back to Canada and go make some songs with Drake and shit. And tell them stop suing motherfuckers over diss tracks. These niggas grifting, man. And I think the black people in the barbershop, because I was listening to them too, I think they all on the grift, man. Because they was bringing up some dumbass points.
You think so?
Hell yeah. I think they were on the grift too. Oh my goodness, man. Because they were not pushing back on anything
to call him the H word or the C word. And if they didn't call him the H or the C word, it wasn't enough for you. You wanted them to say, you're a... That's what you wanted.
I wanted them to push back on what he was saying. A lot of times they was like, I agree, but what about what over here, though? No, push back on what he's saying. What you mean by we 12 times likely to harm y'all? That don't even make no logical sense. What? First of all, black fatigue, you're using it wrong. Like you're using woke, like y'all remember that clip that white lady was on CNN or MS? She was on one of them fucking shows, and it was like, so you wrote a book about woke? She was like, yes, I did. Yes. What does woke mean? Oh, she started skitting and scatting and shit. She didn't know what the word mean, but she wrote a whole book about it and getting paid from it. remixing shit, don't know what they saying, but they say it with conviction, right? And people just sit there and be like, yep, believe it. Yep. So that was my opinion on the shit. First, like Steven Crowder, man, take your ass back to fucking Canada and fix that shit up alongside with the Trailer Park Boys. Y'all ever watch that show? Great.
Yes. I love
It's fucking hilarious, bro.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I live pretty close to Nova Scotia too. I can take the ferry over if I want to. Oh, I love Trailer Park Boys.
Every season, every movie.
Fucking Canada, man. I'm tired of this shit, man. God damn. It's just,
Well, yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
I am flabbergasted that you guys have seen Trailer Park Boys. 10 out of 10. If you guys haven't watched it on Netflix, you need to watch it. It is so stupid. It's hilarious. I literally live for Trailer Park Boys. One of the best shows out there. But to play devil's advocate, I think Steven Crowder is wrong in a lot of things. However, the truth, he did tell the truth. As a whole, I do feel like a lot of white people do no longer have guilt anymore for whether their family partook in slavery or whatnot. Because, I mean, most white people in the United States, families had nothing to do with slavery. And then even more had nothing to do with Jim Crow, because a lot of them immigrated after slavery and after Jim Crow, point blank period. The largest immigration time period in the United States was during the Reconstruction era, which was after slavery. So 99% of white people in the United States, families never even owned slaves. So eventually,
yeah, but no offense, Mia. Hold up. When y'all say shit like that, y'all minimize the systemic things that have happened to people of color and Black people in this country. I don't give a fuck when they got here. There is a systemic issue in this country. And when you say that, you're basically giving talking points to white supremacists to say, oh, they all came after, so it doesn't matter. Then why do we have that hierarchy? The reality is that does happen. There was a reason why affirmative action was put in place in the 1970s, because there was fairness to people of color and to Black people. So
I'm not negating that. That's not my point. My point is that through education, affirmative action, white people did have guilt. They did feel bad. They did have guilt. They did become allies. However, we have seen over the last, I'd say, 5 to 8 years, with racists being thrown out and the woke culture and the democratic culture going on, that a lot of people are tired. They're no longer feeling guilty because they're feeling attacked. So do we think that a lot of these people, if we didn't allow woke culture to seed so deeply in society and paint people as something they may not have been, that maybe we wouldn't be in this problem?
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a fuck what white people think. I'm just being straight honest with you. Like, I care what they think in the fact of having unity, but as far as how they think about Black people struggle in this country, things that Black people are asking for, because they don't care. You know, the biggest thing that Black people are asking for right now is reparations. I'm not foundationally Black, but I understand the pain and why they're asking for it. Although I won't benefit from it, if CARICOM gives something to Jamaica, I would benefit from that. So I can't dismiss what people are saying. But when you say things like that, I'm going to say with all due respect, you just give white supremacists okay to say, oh, well, they don't need that. We came after. That doesn't matter. Like, no disrespect. I'm just being honest with you.
All right.
But anyways, the next clip that we're going to play, I'm going to have Kim respond to it. It has to do with George Floyd and ties into why people are fighting for the things that they're fighting for.
Right. Let me tell you something right now. Listen, in the Black community, I'll be the first to acknowledge, we do have intractable problems that are not going to be solved in one conversation. But what I'm going to say about that, as well as the reason why the Black community becomes so infuriated, all right, is when you see gross negligence of justice happen or misjustice happening and nobody does anything. When this guy kneeled on this man's neck, was going back George Floyd. Yo, look, if he had done something when he was subdued and on the ground, what was the real reason for kneeling on his neck except to inflict fatal harm? What was it?
I can tell you exactly what it was, and I can tell you why you're not recognizing the problem. Because the opinion polls, and I'm not saying right or wrong, the opinion polls have changed on George Floyd since I last spoke with you. You know why?
Why?
All the body cam footage came out. You know what? You know why? Because he was there for 12, 15 minutes, asked to be put in the car. They put him in the car. Asked for air conditioning, gave him air conditioning. Asked to be taken out of the car. They took him out of the car. He wouldn't stop moving. People have watched it now and go, you know what? It's not what I thought it was. You know how many times he was arrested before that? 9. He shouldn't have been. You know what would have saved him? 3-strike policy. He robbed a woman at gunpoint with a child in the house. And so white people look at it, young white people, right, who you have to understand during COVID, this is a whole generation of people. White people did not have any fucking opportunities during COVID. They didn't get to go to the graduation, college, black, white, all of them, right? It's a generation that's pissed. Rightfully so, they got screwed. I think we can agree on that. They're going, I watched my city burn down for a guy who was arrested 9 times and committed violent crimes against women. What?
Then leave, nigga.
That's a travesty.
Red kid, dickhead.
Let me see the CS.
How many felonies
God
did
damn.
President Trump have on his record? Yeah, he was still allowed to occupy the most.
No criminal felonies.
He has no criminal felonies, but he's got moral felonies, which would, if there was a court of justice for that, he probably would be tried a long time ago. I mean, let's talk about it.
Is this where we all get on board with crazy white bitches who accuse women of rape?
No,
like, I thought she accused 26 men of rape, that crazy.
And Red Kid, I'm about to clown your dumb ass. Keep talking in the chat. Keep on talking, bruh. I'm gonna be on your ass, nigga.
You're muted, Nora. You're
Let
muted.
me be clear. I love all people when I said that. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not looking for white tea acceptance. I want acceptance from God, from Jesus. I don't care if white tea people accept me. But when you say things like that, you're saying, I'm okay. I'm looking for white tea acceptance. Please, please, please give it to us. And forget the pain and the struggles and other things people have gone through. I would not say that about Irish people. They've been through a lot. I would not say that about Italians. But when you bring that up, it's like kind of like dismissive. And again, I care about all people. But anyways, Kim, you can respond to the George Floyd argument.
Man, I wish I would have been at that barber shop. I would have stepped in for sure. This guy, the Steven Crowder guy, he's funny. It was almost like a comedian skit, but one of the best studies that, because this whole, it's not just, it's happening everywhere. I saw the Dave Smith, Nick Fuentes interview, and I think people are not addressing the race topic with regards to, I suppose you could say, white fragility or white, what was he saying right there? He was calling it, what was that word? He said fatigue. There you go. A lot of the times people like to dismiss race issues and say like it's not a race issue when it really is. For example, if you substitute like a certain situation, and there have been polls with, in this situation, and you're seeking for empathy from a poll, when it's regarding like a Black person, and you substitute that out for literally any other race, people will, in polls, find more empathy towards that same scenario when it's not a Black person in that situation. One of the best examples of this is reparations. A lot of people, like my homie Bernie Sanders, has argued that monetary or cash reparations for descendants of freedmen would not help the Black community because there are other ways to address income inequality, right? But Bernie Sanders and other not just liberals, but conservatives as well, are in favor of the billions of dollars paid to reparations of Holocaust survivors. I think over 90 billion by Germany alone. So when you substitute that out, like, are you in favor of reparations for descendants of freedmen? A lot of people will say no, but if you substitute that out for, like, in that example, Holocaust survivors, people will say yes. So there is a race issue there. I don't think that the conversation is going in the right direction with a lot of
the emboldening overt, sometimes racist conversations coming from the right. I think we're really kind of more backpedaling with regards to the race issue, and also with regards to the criminal punishment bureaucracy. You can say whatever you want about George Floyd, but he shouldn't have been killed for anything, even if he had a history of offenses. That's more of a reflection of the failed criminal punishment bureaucracy than it is of George Floyd as an individual. But yeah, man, that guy Steven Crowder was funny.
Well, he gets funnier, and since they love to talk about reparations in the chat, I mean, like if you want to make a certain group of people cringe, bring up the word reparations. That's all I'm going to say.
Personal accountability. We'd all be against reparations, and we'd all be against the criminal justice reform.
I'm definitely for reparations.
See, that to me, you said excuse. Yeah. That sounds like an excuse to me.
You ain't paid me back. You ain't paid me for what you owe me. What did I take from you? You can't start another bill until you pay this old bill.
What did I take from you?
You didn't take but your ancestors.
But you just said you.
Well, when I say you, I meant it as you for me.
But can you understand why white people hear it and get pissed off?
Yeah.
Because I can take shit.
But they're not mad about the advantages that were built into their lives.
So you want young people to pay? Sounds like an excuse.
Nobody wants to address. And
Sounds like an excuse.
Even without paying us back, Steve, know my thoughts are on this here. Give us an opportunity to exercise our ability and our autonomy. Let me give you a perfect example.
Man, Gary, man, we begging for you not to play with your dog ass, but you still do it. So I guess we ain't getting what we want, huh? We got a bunch of idiots in the chat today. God damn.
I triggered them because I said if I just said I don't care about the white tees, they would have been fine. But when they heard reparations come on, they got
man.
Triggered.
I noticed something. Either when we talk about reparations or when Enzo starts talking about MAGA, the chat be going crazy. They be talking hella shit all the time. It never fails. Never fails. You saying the most asinine thing too. It make no sense, bro. PD Pablo up here sounding goddamn retarded. Don't know how to count. He counting with his fucking.
I know. I told him to use his second hand. He's like, I got to 5. I was like, okay, buddy, use your second hand.
Out here, I don't know his ass from his hand. Red kid, he want a friend and shit. Man, bro, look, bro, you need to start worrying about why your mom is your aunt, bro.
Well, we about to really trigger them. Enzo, you done change your position on reparations. What you think? I'm not trying to pressure you. If you change it, it's okay. But they about to really get triggered. Either way, they're gonna be triggered when they hear you speak. So
when it comes to reparations, like I agree with the premise of reparations, like I said, because we've had reparations paid out for other people who have been affected or for whatever reasons, most notoriously the Holocaust, right? But to break it down to show, like my biggest thing, I agree with reparations, giving cash to people who were affected. The biggest issue that I've always thought about it was tracking that down through your lineage. If you can prove that you are somebody who was affected because of slavery, 100%. How do we really track that? There needs to be like a great system in place. Or I think if there was something more in place, a lot more people would get behind the idea of it. That's the
no one can ever tell you the plan of it. That's my biggest issue of why I gotta say it. If you can tell me a clear plan, I'll support it. But there's no clear plan on how do you know how is it going to be doled out? That's my issue. There needs to be a plan on it. And I think once that is seen and heard, people probably will understand it more. But the reality is, it's like if you die and you are owed insurance money from an insurance company and your next of kin is owed that money, that's the reality of it. It's their next of kin. And unfortunately, this is the next of kin.
I'll say this, and I'm going to talk to my Black Americans because, thank you to my uncle because he's a historian and he traced back our lineage to 1830 or whatever. Y'all, just talk to y'all fucking grandparents or your parents or uncle or somebody within a Black American household or your lineage is going to have records of your shit. You feel me? And it's going to trace back. That's my advice to, because, Enzo and Nora is bringing up a great point to track back our lineage. And that's kind of how I track back my lineage of my Black American roots and stuff like that. But back to this chat, man. God damn, y'all niggas retarded. We had somebody named Benjamin. How did the Jews get reparations? Nigga, Google, ChatGPT, please. Perplexity. God damn. Just type it in. How did the Jews get reparations? And you'll get your answer.
We paid the Japanese Americans reparations for putting them in internment camps during WW2. During World War II, my bad. I just said that messed up. During World War II. So there is absolute premise for the United States themselves to pay people indirect cash payments or in installments for anything that has been inflicted against their will by us. I mean, the premise is there. So, I mean, there's no reason that we can't, whether it's we trace our lineage, whether we take blood tests. My biggest thing is it going to be like Native Americans where it's blood quantum, where if you don't have X amount of FBA blood, you won't qualify. You know what I mean? Because even Native Americans, they have their own little hierarchy there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get paid out by the tribe unless you have to have like 50% or 75%, and you have to come there and you have to prove it and you have to register and be tribal and get your little ID and everything. So I wonder if we need a plan, because Nora's right. There really isn't a plan. So if there's no plan, then we can't implement this plan.
I know some of the tribes, they do 20%. You got 20% Native American, the red Native Americans in you and shit, then yeah, you could get to them funds and stuff like that. You feel me?
Oh, okay. I qualify. Let's go.
You better.
Let's go. I'm 20%. I'm qualifying. Let's go.
Yeah, you might be losing out on some money. You better check in. You better see for real. You know. But yeah.
And would someone like Mia qualify though?
What's up?
Would someone like Mia qualify?
You say
Mia's Mia.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm using an example.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's half of your.
I mean, if they dropped if they made the threshold 50%, I'm good. If it's like 51, I'm bad. I ain't gonna make it. But if it's 50%, I'm good. I'm gonna get a payout. So we gotta figure this out.
Yep.
I don't know, because like when I was on Dana with the Data's panel one night, people were saying that people like in your situation, Mia, and Dana got mad because her grandkids are half FBA, half non-FBA, and they were like, no, you gotta be full FBA, you gotta trace it back. So like that's the problem. Like what
that was that one woman though. She was the only one that was saying that. She's trying to construct something.
No, a lot of people say that, Kamal. But and also like what would be palatable, since for the white tees that got mad because I said I don't care about white tees, because remember the reality is majority of this country is not Black, is not FBA. Majority of this country wouldn't benefit from this. So how do you come up with a plan that doesn't cause a riot with the rest
think
of the
about
country?
it though. See, I gotta push back on that. How wouldn't y'all benefit from it? Y'all money going to fucking Ukraine, right? And that money ain't being spent in America. If y'all give us the money, we're going to spend at y'all fucking businesses. We're going to spend in y'all fucking grocery stores. We're going to be spending Amazon, all that shit. We're going to be spending right back in America. That's what I don't get.
I'll say it for you, Nora. As the resident Italian man on the panel, I hate white people. Come for me.
Well,
Y'all annoy the shit out of me.
Real talk. No, seriously. Were you offended by what I said? Did you got the point of what I was saying? I'm not looking for y'all to accept and understand what we're saying. We're trying to educate you, but you don't have to agree with it. That's my point of what I said when I said I don't care. Of course I care about you guys. Of course I care. You guys are Americans. I didn't mean it like that, but these people got their opinions in a bunch.
If they're going to come sideways, that just means they're ignorant. That's it. That's all that means. They showing who they are.
But
I get what you're saying. You don't care about the opinion of people that follow that weak ass ideology of white.
Yes, because nothing we say they're gonna understand our struggle. Just like I cared to hear about Enzo's struggle as an Italian American. Italians and Irish went through a lot in this country. In fact, they weren't considered white tea at the point. All of a sudden, when the floodgates started opening up, when all the other immigrants came from all over the world, all of a sudden they want to accept them as white tea. This was like the 70s and 80s when they became considered as white tea. But before that, they weren't. And Enzo, am I lying?
Not at all. I wish my grandparents were here. I would get stories from them.
Yeah.
I tell you guys stories. I wish they were here so I could ask them. But I've heard plenty of stories like them, or like my grandmother and my grandfather growing up in New York City. They were not allowed to do anything. They were not seen as people because they were Italians.
True. And they couldn't live anywhere. They couldn't live everywhere. They had to live in the small sections. But here's the next top video, guys. This is kind of long, but it talks about how Black people they feel like Black people don't have power. Is that true? Has that changed since Obama? Let's talk about it. Here we go.
More crime. Right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love, was we're going to reform crime, we're going to reform the justice system, and it's gotten worse everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going, well, what happens when someone has to keep their mouth shut about everything?
Nobody tell you have to keep
That's how
your
they
mouth
feel.
shut.
That's how they feel.
I don't believe white people have to keep their mouth shut. I think white people don't speak up about a lot of the things that they do and they perpetuate that affects us negatively. That's the stuff that nobody wants to. The issues aren't made about those things. I really respect the platform that you have because you do have open and honest conversations. And I have to say, I don't believe that those numbers about the Black people murdering white people are correct. I don't believe those numbers are correct.
What if they are? What if I'm not lying to you?
If you're not, then I've been misled and I've been isolated from realistic numbers. But I know in this country, from the time that we got here and until now, there's never been hordes of Black people that just go out and maraud and menace white people. Interactions happen and things do occur. I'm not saying that they don't, but not by and large in number. We can't be this small a percentage of the overall population and still have the numbers that people try to perpetuate on to us. See, Black people do more harm to other Black people than we do to other white people.
Well, that's true. That's true. Because people who are close. That's true.
We also have historical evidence of
He just debunked himself right there.
people attacking and chasing Black people.
So it's
coming after.
So when people
we have
say
historical
it's not
evidence
happening
of it.
now.
So when
I'm just saying,
and that's the point. Is we're at a precipice right now.
That's a part of the historical condition.
Well, sure, but someone today.
Hold on. I wasn't finished making my point. I wasn't finished making my point. When like I said, Black fatigue, that's the newest mantra that's been put out into society to make people think that, okay, they tired of Black people. They tired of what you said, that we can't say anything about Black people. We can't do. Well, when you hold all the power, when you hold all the economic rights, when you hold all the things that make this country move, when you're in charge of those things, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? I put it like this. White people got the firecrackers, we got the stem. That's it. Y'all got the power. The power is placed outside of the Black community.
Mia, do you agree with that Black people have no power, or do you think that we've come a long way? It's 2025.
I think that two things can be true at once. I think that we don't have as much power as we should. And I do think in 2025, we have come further in the last 100 years than we were before. But we definitely don't have as much economic power. And, it's all done by design. I mean, given our fertility rate, we should be 40% of the population. But unfortunately, back in the day, Margaret Sanger got into the government, and now 40% of all abortions that happen in the United States are by Black women. So, and over 1 million happen per year in the United States. That's 400,000 Black American children that are not being born. Imagine if we stopped that and we started having our children and keeping them, we would be 40 to 50% of the population. And thus we would have the economic power to make real change. They keep us the minority for a reason, so we don't rise up. And it's literally simple mathematics. If we were allowed to actually propagate, have real families, we would actually have the economic power to change the face of this country because we would have the population. But they keep us weak and they keep our population low on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna play this next clip. I'm gonna have Gray respond. This is Stephen Crowder talking about that white people are mad.
White people who are getting more and more mad. I'm just telling you the truth.
What they mad?
And they have the guns. They're mad because this thing. Here's why. They go, look, I'm 12 times more likely to be killed by a black person than you are a white person. And you go, well, that doesn't count. They go, look, my dad's business got burned down.
Yeah. And where?
My city got burned down. I've been accused of being a racist, even though I'm not. And I'm looking at this right now, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion, and I can't go into certain neighborhoods because I get my ass kicked. And then you just say, yeah, but you've had systemic power. That is a surefire way to breed racism.
Gray, me and you had a nice little discussion this morning. Why are the white boys mad, Gray? Why are they real mad, man? Why are they so
No,
mad?
you can tell them why you said that they mad. But
I'll tell you why I think they mad. And you know what? I don't give a fuck if chat comes from me because, again, I already set the precipice. I'm not looking for white tea acceptance. I love white tea people, but you don't got to accept me. This is why I think y'all mad. Y'all mad because white tea women are going after the blacks, the Spanish. They mix it with everybody else. And I learned this from Nick Fuentes. I'd be mad too. A lot of y'all are incels. I'm just saying. A lot of y'all are incels. These women, they don't want to, the white tea women, they feminists, they white feminists. They don't want to have babies. They don't want to get married. They don't want to go on a date with you. And they over here busting it wide open for Tyrone up the road. That's what I think.
Hey, for the chat, I didn't say that, but Nora said that.
You know what he said? You know what he said? White women love me. That's white.
I never said that.
White tea women love me. This was before his girlfriend. Girlfriend, if you're watching, this was before you. How much white tea women you get? How you get all the white tea women?
Nora, you being the vanilla, bro?
That is what he said. I promise you. And so I was like, you know what? I just had an epiphany. They're mad because of all the white tea women leaving the coop.
What my response is gonna be is that in a way he's right, because this is what they hear. The Republican Party tells them these are the scapegoats, these are the people ruining your lives. The Jews are controlling you, the Hispanics are taking your jobs, the blacks are committing crimes. They are told this day in and day out, whether they're on social media.
No accountability. There's no accountability on their part. It's always everybody else.
And when you have a scapegoat and you can say, hey, those people are the problem, that makes it easier for that tribe of people to get along, because they're not going to be fighting so much with each other, because there's a scapegoat saying, hey, those people are the problem. It's not you guys. Those people are the problem. Don't worry about who's rich and who's poor. Those people over there that don't look like you, they're the problem.
I mean, I gotta agree. I mean, listening to the whole black fatigue thing, and also someone said fix the culture. We fixed the culture. I just looked up stats. Black people are better now than we've ever been as a people collectively. In 1962, only about 25% of Black Americans had completed high school. By 2022, that risen to over 90%. In the early 1960s, 50 to 51% of Black Americans were living in poverty. By 2021, the rate dropped to 20%. So I'm sick of this whole black culture sucks. It's garbage. It's terrible. Like, I mean, if y'all want to learn about black culture, go learn about it. Stop saying that black culture sucks. Am I wrong? Come on. What do you think?
I mean, let's be real, man. Motherfuckers be trying to emulate black culture every day. I could pull up right now. I'll show y'all somebody from another race emulating some black culture. Black culture is American culture at this point. Let's be real. We have the same kind of vernacular. We all be saying the same kind of shit at this point. Somewhat dressing similar. You feel me? Like, let's stop the bull crap, man. Like, at this point, people just want to wag the finger at somebody. That's what I'm seeing. And like Steven Crowder lying like a motherfucker though. He be lying on top of lies though, man. God damn. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm reading this chat. Man, Red Kid, bro. I swear, you probably the dumbest motherfucker we ever had in this chat, bro. God damn, you an idiot, bro. What does your ranking mean? I don't know anything. Oh my God, what does this mean? God damn. And PD Pablo, if you don't like us talk about race in this channel, get your simpleton ass out of here. Because that's the topic at hand, you fucking idiot. God damn.
I mean, did we talk about race or did Steven Crowder come on? He literally calls the show Black and White. And it's one of the top shows right now. Y'all can look it up. Y'all don't like it, go to call Steven Crowder. We're reacting to his shit. He brought it up. We just reacting.
Yeah, PD Pablo, I'm sorry that you keep stroking off your dog, bro. We telling you to stop doing that bullshit, bro. Take your ass somewhere, bro. For real. And that's the thing. It's like, We're talking about race because Steven Crowder is bringing up race within the video. We're reacting to somebody talk about race. It's like, God damn. Man, see, I don't want to believe that the American school system is failing us, but damn it, every day in the chat, y'all show me that the American school system is failing us. God damn. Bring back critical thinking. Goodness gracious. Bring back listening. Jesus Christ, man. This shit is absurd. Shout out to the chat, though. Y'all keep chatting away, though. You feel me? Keep chatting away, Red Kid. You know what? You need to send a super chat.
And did this person just prove my point, y'all? Please read it.
Oh,
Crowder is
Crowder is
lonely
just lonely
because his wife left him.
His wife fucking left him?
Didn't I? What did I tell you? Why are white team men mad? They mad because they bitches keep leaving.
Did you guys not see the video? Steven Crowder's wife, pregnant with twins. He was like nasty. I mean, her family and her released the videos. I see why she left. I would have taken my pregnant ass too. I would have been like, I'm out here. I'm going back home.
What did he do?
He was just being very, very verbally abusive to her. I don't remember. Don't quote me. I don't remember if there was physical abuse in the video, but definitely there was narcissistic abuse and definitely verbal abuse going on in the video. And I think there might have been more than one video because it looked like it was a home recording from like somebody's house. So we're getting it in real time from the house. I'm assuming the wife's the one that released it, but it happened, I think, 2 years ago. I want to say, I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. But yeah, it's on the internet. So, I mean, he's divorced now.
Mia's telling the truth. I've heard of it, but I didn't really follow it at the time. Like, it's bad.
Damn.
That's why he's going to the black barbershops.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I gotta say something now. Bro, this is just like it's crazy how, like, okay, his wife left him. He all mad about that shit, but he like, man, look at this black on black crime, man. This is why my wife left my ass. This black on black crime in Chicago, man. Y'all got to get it together. I'm like, bro, this shit is hilarious. You got some more Steven Crowder we can listen to? This nigga's a clown. I'm ready to
I have one last clip. I have one last clip that we can all react to and close out with. This is Steven Crowder on white excuses.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. The tension is already there. White people are afraid to go in black neighborhoods because
so
of
should
stats
black
they don't
people
believe.
be afraid to go to school because a white person go come shoot the school up? Because every time we see that,
not even close.
that's what keeps happening.
It's not even close.
But now you're going to ignore. Now you're going to ignore that.
I'm scared to go to church.
You're scared to go to church, but you're sitting in the barbershop with almost 12 black men. Come on, Steve. Now let's be realistic.
Who do you think's more at risk sitting down right here?
Exactly. He know he's not in danger around us.
No, I'm much more risk.
We don't do that.
Or white T Steven Crowder. He's in danger.
I just watched my friend die, right?
Steve, let me say this. Know what bothers me about white people, and this is kind of
everything.
No, not everything. Not everything.
But we smell like wet dog or some. I've heard all this stuff.
Let me tell you what bothers me about white people. Let's be honest here, because I work with a lot of white people, so I have nothing against them at all. Let me be honest with you. But the problem that the biggest problem that I have is that you constantly get bombarded with the excuses, all right? When you really come down to it, let's be honest, man, and let's be really truthful with one another. Ask yourself, what do you expect when you look at architectural oppression, economic depravity, and social disparity? What would you call it?
Bad decisions.
Huh?
Bad decisions.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, I think right now in 2025, it's bad decisions. I think everyone can make better decisions.
And you know what? I'll even go here with you. In all fairness, I think that's absolutely true. So my question for you is, how do we move past this?
Yeah. Okay.
How do we move past
I agree with you. I agree. And I think maybe we'll find some common ground here. If we agree there is personal accountability and bad decisions, and I think we also all agree that feminist white are the worst demographic in the country, along with lesbians.
There's a great book that says that they were her property.
Lesbians catching strays now too. Shit. What did the lesbians do?
And I mean, angry white feminist bitches and lesbians, because if they didn't vote, we wouldn't have half of the shit. And this is one thing I appreciate about black men, that white men are so black men can talk about these things, and black men are okay being masculine. White men are told it's sexist. There's a lot there. Personal accountability decisions. Now, just take that and apply it. What you kind of just did here is you blamed white people, without realizing it, for systemic discrimination, and that removes autonomy from a white person to be accountable and also rewarded for their good decisions. So if we agree it's bad decisions, personal accountability, we'd all be against reparations, and we'd all be against the criminal justice reform.
I'm definitely for reparations. So yeah.
How you gonna say you're not for accountability, but you're gonna be against reparation? That's fucking stupid. That's the true form of accountability. God damn. And my story, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to be on your show, bro.
Me either.
You're a fucking idiot, bro. You're like, Chicago a hellhole. I've been there 1,000 times. Why would you go to a hellhole 1,000 times, bro? You better say you live there. Because if you go in there all willy-nilly on your own accord, bro, god damn. Jesus Christ, man.
He doesn't want us anyways. He made that clear, Kamal. He only wants me. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Oh, hit me up. Y'all need to hit. No, bro, you asked us. We gave you our email. You can hit us up.
Oh, man.
Anyways, interesting. Well, time for closing thoughts. I'm going to let Gray go first. Gray, what's your closing thoughts?
Great show. Lots of laughs. Nora, you trying to expose private conversations. That was funny. But what I think this main thing is about is people having uncomfortable conversations. So what I would say is like, kudos to Steven Crowder for going there and having the conversation. At least he had some pushback and people were there. We were able to react to it and we're able to have the conversation. So I would say, like, if we keep having these types of conversations, maybe we'll get to a common ground. And that's the same thing with Gaza, Israel, that it's just a ceasefire, but maybe something will happen. At least people are talking. Like we always say, a new party, always vote.
Yeah, for sure. Always vote. And my closing thoughts are, listen, you guys in the chat are a little bit sensitive. I'm gonna need you to like get some thicker skin. I love all people. I love all Americans. I love everyone around the world. I like Steven Crowder. He's funny. I actually am a fan of his show, believe it or not. But I gotta call out a spade a spade. He done went to the hood to go get him some clickbait, get him some views and make some coins. But hey, shout out to you, Steven Crowder. And also, guys, heads up, we are looking for members of the new party. For those that do like us and those that don't, you can still come back, join for $1.99 from now until Christmas. You can join and get exclusive emojis and get a badge next to your name, as well as our member-only content. I will be going to AmFest in December, so I will have exclusive videos that eventually we'll be putting up. So please support our channel. Kimberly, it was your first show back. What's your closing thoughts?
Thanks for having me back. I would be remiss not to shout out my homie Barack Obama because somebody brought him up earlier, and I'm being facetious. Barack Obama decimated Black wealth when he bailed out the banks after the 2008 recession. The real solution to uplift not only the Black community, but the poor community in the United States would be to tax work less, tax wealth more, and also monetary reparations for descendants of freedmen.
Oh, man. Drop that bomb.
Hold on, Kim, you saying freedmen? You talk about Barack Obama didn't do shit, and they're going to be on your ass, Kim. They're going to be on your
Barack Obama and the Democratic Party are bad for Black people. They decimated Black wealth.
Oh, shit.
He was funded by the big bank. He bailed out the big banks after the 2008 recession. The Democratic Party, and I'll piggyback off of what Gray said. He said something like, man, my mind went blank, but yeah, it's the two-party system has failed the American working class for sure. And Barack Obama decided to intentionally bail out the big banks rather than to bail out the American people, and Black wealth was decimated. I believe from an average, I'm not going to say the numbers off the top of my head because I don't remember, but the real solution to that would have been to bail out the American people.
So do you think Trump is better then?
No, absolutely not. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that it is better to have the conversation out in the open and expose people for what they really are, as opposed to like the Democrats where they
like they hide their hands.
Right. They say we're for the Black people, we're for the American working class, but that's not exactly the truth. Whereas with the Republican parties, you get what you see, especially with Donald Trump, because he's just so brazen. And I think it is better to have the conversation out in the open.
And I do agree, everybody should vote third party. Butch Ware for California governor.
Who?
Butch Ware.
Who's Butch Ware?
I'll look into him.
Yes, you guys should look into him.
Kim, I think you follow me on Ivy. Can you actually I'm gonna look it up, never mind. Because I'm in California.
I do follow you.
Yeah, I wanna learn more about Berber for real. So
all right, Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
First of all, PD Pablo, that was funny what you said, even though I suspect you to be a suspected hunky. He said I'm sweet and sensitive. He joking, but his dumbass don't know sarcasm. Cause when Kim was saying all that shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm agreeing. He like, you blind, bro. I mean, y'all. Hey, shout out to the chat, but some of y'all today was goddamn, man. Y'all was making me lose brain cells from Red Kid to my story. Jesus Christ, man, y'all. Whew. Jesus. Anyway, shout out to y'all though. Y'all was in the chat heavy. Shout out to everybody else. I saw Heaven in the chat. You know what I mean? Doc, he was in the chat too. Shout out to everybody else that's a part of the new party. Also, I got the new party pinned to the top of my chat on my side. So go follow the new party and hit that notification bell so you know when they go live. All right. Also, on my end, Kamal Johnson Network, sub for your bruh. And also hit that notification bell so you know when I go live on my end. First of all, I don't think there will ever be peace in the fucking Middle East, to be honest. These motherfuckers one day is like, yeah, we cool, and then the next day some bullshit happened. Like it's just every day is somebody backdooring somebody. Shit's crazy. Also, Steven Crowder and Steven Smith, all you Steven motherfuckers, man, goddamn, y'all on some bullshit. Goddamn. Even though this is my thing with Stephen A. Smith is saying he trying to be like, oh, you need to be more presentable. I don't care about how Jasmine Crockett is being presentable because the Republicans is kind of on the same shit. You saw Marjorie Greene Taylor was arguing with her and all types of shit. I'm more caring about the policies that she's fighting for. She's fighting for illegal immigrants every other minute. Her and Maxine 32 wigs. Like, the shit don't make no sense, man. You feel
32
me?
wigs.
And Steven Crowder, man, this motherfucker is Liatron. He lied on top of lies, on top of lies, on top of freaking lies. God damn, man. But he's a good speaker. He speaks well. You know what I mean? But that shit that he's trying to paint, he's basically trying to paint the black man as the boogeyman. Oh, white people need to be scared of the black man. Oh my goodness. No, crime is proximity, and crime is usually done amongst poor motherfuckers. Just go use Google, ChatGPT, whatever you want to use. Okay, it'll tell you. All right, like, yeah, man, these people be lying, grifting. Now, I'll take it back. I don't know if the black brothers in the barbershop was grifting with them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were. All right, but I know Steven Crowder was grifting. At this point, the only grifter I like at this point is Nick Fuentes. At least that spicy honky is funny. He's funny though. God damn, he's hilarious. But the rest of them, I'm just be like, oh God, you feel me? And you know what? I do appreciate the opposing views in the chat though. You feel me? Like, don't take no hard feelings. You feel me? Only person I do have to address is some person was like, oh, I'm white. Would I have to pay reparations? If you come to the United States, you become part of the United States government, and the United States government is the one that pay for reparations. They already do it for the red Native Americans. They the ones sending out money to Ukraine and all types of other shit. And at the end of the day, real talk, if you pay us black Americans reparation, it's going to help out America because we're going to be spending money in fucking America. We ain't going to ship that shit off to Africa or something. We ain't shipping the money off. We keeping it here. So, I mean, it's logical sense. And also, the last thing I wanted to say is when Nora said she didn't care about white people, she means she didn't care about white folks and anybody else that follow that weak ass ideology of white supremacy. Okay,
exactly.
That's what she meant. You feel me? And at the end of the day, like Enzo, from what I've been talking with and shit like that, he don't follow that ideology of white supremacy. So
nope,
that's what we mean. You feel me? Y'all be all, oh, you hate white people. Goodness gracious. No,
I'm gonna be honest with you. The white supremacists, they be more real than some of these grifters, like you said.
Shit.
Like Kim said, with the Republicans, you know what you get. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Okay. I mean, I ain't even gonna argue that. You feel me? But yeah. Hey, actually, Mia, when my story hit you up and to be on this show, I kind of want to watch that because I think this nigga a buffoon. But
I mean, like, no offense, Mia. I'm gonna be real with you. If Raw has less than 5,000 subs, I wouldn't go. Like, that's just me. That's just me.
I don't know. He said, Chicago is a hellhole. I've been there a million times. I love it. Like, damn. Okay.
Anyway, guys, hit that notification bell for the Kamal Jensen Network and ours.
Can I say one more thing? I just got a new cat, y'all, and I just found out the lineage of my cat. My cat is Puerto Rican. I shit y'all not. I was talking about Bad Bunny and shit, and he was up there and he knocked all this type of shit down. As soon as I started talking about Bad Bunny, he's Puerto Rican. So Tiggs is Puerto Rican, y'all.
Oh my goodness.
Oh Jesus. Oh God. Okay. Mia, what's your closing thoughts?
This was a great episode. And if you are not following us, please do follow us. We do this Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, you can find most of us on TikTok, X, IG, and YouTube as well. All of us have our names in the headline, so you can follow us there and other places. And to be honest, I'm like so overstimulated with everything happening in the world. I'm just minding my business, man. I'm making jams and apple butter and shit at home. And I think all other Black Americans should too. We need to mind our motherfucking business and stay home and just save money because the world is getting crazy and we don't want to be a part of it because they will somehow make it our fault. So to be safe, everybody needs to stay home, leave ICE alone, and God bless.
Facts, Mia. My story, man. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, please. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, people are a little sensitive tonight. Like, there's really, like, I will even remember who the haters were after tonight. But, anyways, Enzo, my Italian Charlie Kirk, what's your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are sorry for being late. Things were just crazy stuff happening. I didn't catch the first part of it. I know, pretty sure you guys spoke about the Israel peace deal. I'm just happy that there's somewhat of an end to a conflict and the hostages have been freed on both sides. Hopefully they can keep this up on both sides. Most importantly, today is Charlie Kirk's birthday, so happy birthday, Charlie, is one thing that we'll say on the panel. Everything else that we spoke about, Stephen A. pretty much just needs to stay out of fucking politics altogether and just keep talking about sports. Steven Crowder, I mean, if you're gonna do these type of things like your barbershop stuff, at least have the statistics right. Like you flip the numbers when you were talking about black on white crime. It's the exact opposite. And so yeah, I kind of lost a bet, so I kind of went liberal, guys. Don't hate me for it, but right here. Yeah. I've been called a liberal all week for it. It's the funniest fucking thing. All weekend too. So with that being said, hope everybody has a great night. This is a great episode.
Shit.
Facts. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Shout out to the team. We'll be back tomorrow night. Gray, do you know the topic? You think it's gonna be on Charlie Kirk?
No. I don't know. Just come back tomorrow.
It'll be no politics. There's lots of buffoonery that's not even in politics.
For sure.
All right, guys. God bless and good night, everybody.